so that we can get on and do some other stuff. 15, all speeches are at a minimum. Cool. Glenn moves really quickly.
First, as you can see there, is the recommendation over residential register of residential rental properties. Just to say, this has been a long-held kind of concept by the Tenants Protection Association. It's something which I felt was very worthy of promotion, and the committee felt that too. It has the potential. We're just seeking a report here over its potential effectiveness, and I see it working alongside that affordable rental stream, especially if we get into that. We need to know about availability, habitability. It could be, and I stress could be, a tool to help uphold the Residential Tenancies Act. For some sectors in the community, it's very important. The Canterbury Family Violence work stream, for instance, has quite a strong call to know where suitable rentals are. It could also help to deal with the as-is, whereas dynamic that's kind of playing out in our communities now following the quakes, where houses are being bought up and it's just all pretty laissez-faire out there. So we're just seeking a report on the viability of that.
Through the Tenancy Tribunal, would they have is there any way that we could work in with them? Because it seems that there's a body, because we've got all this bureaucracy, and yet if you look at Brown Village, it was a dog to start with. And so how can we create something, yet we've got so much bureaucracy, and I would hate to see another form of bureaucracy just added onto it.
We could work with them.
It's just, so, I mean, it's just mind-boggling. It's frustrating.
Okay. I think Michael may wish to. Do you have any questions there? You can see with the EQC global settlement process, it's a little bit like fishing. You have to know when to let it out, reel the line in a bit, but we're getting closer to some kind of agreed point. I think it's okay to say that. Any questions on that especially? Okay. Yep. No, we wish to proceed with this. There's an amendment that staff have assisted with, which you'll see up there, that staff be directed to discuss further the Housing New Zealand Corporation potential options for expediting the availability of social housing units in Christchurch. And there's a bit more of that discussion continuing in the public excluded part of the meeting.
Okay, so this stays in.
Yes, yep.
Just so I'm clear, like I understand Housing New Zealand is doing a lot of development in Phillipstown and Charleston. We've got land, they've got capital. Are we talking to them about, joint opportunities?
Until we can do some, we need some freedom to act with our assets at the moment, and we don't have that. So I think the wider processes that the Deputy Mayor has already outlined will allow us a lot more freedom to have those conversations, because I think there'll be a lot more flexibility. But we are talking with Housing New Zealand.
Just got a question about the finances, because when we've got here, you've got $7 million yet to be allocated, but there's talk of, is there 2 housing pots of money?
Yes and no.
Thank you.
That's, the housing fund is the housing fund, and all the money is in there. However, we, for our convenience, separate that into money that is relating to the earthquake and money we're getting back from EQC that we're putting towards those rebuilds, and money that we normally hold for maintenance and ongoing operation of the housing funds. So they are in two lots. The money in the earthquake bit is spent, or either spent or committed. The discussion has been around using some of the money in the other bucket to use to tide us over. In terms of the timing of the cash flow, that's probably fine, assuming that we do get an EQC settlement in the not too distant future.
So just for clarification, the 7 million here is, which pot is that?
When this was written, that was believed to be in the earthquake pot. That's not in the earthquake pot now. That was the discussions we've had between this report and this getting published into here. So the money, that isn't there, it is already committed. But there is other money available in the other pot which we can use to bridge that. In the end, it's just cash in the same bucket.
So how much is in the other pot?
About 9 million.
Thank you.
Cool, so we've got the recommendations now with the addition put by Glenn. Do you want to put that separately, or are you okay to put it all together? Okay, no problem with anyone? I'll put that. Those in favour, please say aye. Those opposed? Carried. That's the end of 15, and we actually then move to